The sun was just beginning to rise, casting golden light across the narrow village paths. As a young boy, named Arav, prepared to leave for the city, he was filled with ambition and determination. His eyes sparkled with dreams that stretched far beyond the simple boundaries of his small hometown. The elders watched him go with proud but cautious hearts, knowing the world beyond their fields and traditions was different, unforgiving, swift, and full of challenges. Arav's mother handed him a small bag of food, a warm embrace, and whispered, "No matter where you go, don't forget who you are." The words clung to him as he made his way to the bustling city. The tall buildings and flashing lights overwhelmed him at first, but soon he was swept into the current of the city's pace. He joined a prestigious university, one that demanded excellence, poise, and a polished exterior. At first, Arav proudly wore his traditional clothes, spoke his language freely, and celebrated his culture openly. But gradually, he began to notice how others looked at him differently. Some classmates chuckled at his accent, others mocked his food, and a few teachers subtly suggested that he might fit in better if he adopted a more modern demeanor. Arav was hurt, but eager to succeed. He began changing. He stopped bringing his food from home, started speaking only in the city's language, altered his appearance, and even hesitated to mention where he was from. With each passing week, a piece of him began to fade. His grades improved, his social circle expanded, and people began praising how well-adjusted he was. But something within him felt hollow. He had become a version of himself that others wanted to see, but not the version his heart recognized. He remembered festivals back home, the smell of incense in his house, the lullabies his grandmother sang, the sacred stories of his ancestors, and the simple joy of being accepted for who he was. Now those memories were like a dream he barely remembered. Years passed. Arav landed a high-paying job in a multinational company. He wore suits tailored in Italy, dined in five-star restaurants, and spoke fluently with clients from around the world. But one evening, as he walked past a small temple in a hidden corner of the city, he heard a familiar song, an old folk tune sung during harvest festivals back home. He stopped in his tracks. An old man sat on the temple steps, playing a flute, his clothes simple, his eyes kind. The melody pierced through Arav's facade like a ray of sunlight through dense fog. The man noticed him and smiled, gesturing him to sit. Arav sat quietly, unsure why he was there, unsure why his chest felt so heavy. They didn't speak for a while. Then the man asked, "Do you remember this song?" Arav nodded, tears welling up in his eyes. "My grandmother used to sing it every winter," he replied. The old man didn't ask more. He simply said, "The world will ask you to become many things, but in trying to be everything for everyone, don't lose the truth of who you are. Your roots are not a weakness. They are your strength." That night, Arav couldn't sleep. He kept hearing the melody, the words of his mother, the old man's gentle wisdom. He realized how much of himself he had buried in order to be accepted, to be praised, to be successful. And yet, despite all the accolades, he felt incomplete. The next morning, he made a quiet decision, not to quit his job, not to abandon his goals, but to reconnect with the self he had locked away. He started small. He called his parents more often. He began speaking his native language with pride. At a cultural event in his company, he volunteered to organize a celebration of traditional music and dance. Many colleagues were surprised, even impressed. For the first time in years, he wore traditional attire to work for the festival. Some chuckled, some admired, but he didn't flinch. He smiled, because for once he was not performing. He was being. To his surprise, people responded with respect. A few colleagues approached him afterward and shared stories of their own backgrounds, stories they too had hidden in the pursuit of fitting in. One said, "You reminded me of my grandfather." "Thank you," another said. "I wish I had the courage to show who I really am." Arav realized something powerful. Authenticity creates connection. Over time, Arav became a bridge between cultures in his company, teaching others the strength of diversity and identity. He wasn't just the man in the suit with the perfect accent anymore. He was also the village boy who brought stories, songs, and traditions that enriched the lives of those around him. His performance didn't decline. If anything, it improved, because now he was fueled not by fear of rejection, but by the deep joy of being whole. Years later, when Arav was invited to speak at an international conference on leadership and identity, he stood before a massive crowd, dressed in a blend of traditional and modern attire. He shared his story, not the story of his achievements, but the story of the boy who almost erased himself to be seen. He ended his speech with the same words his mother once whispered to him: "No matter where you go, don't forget who you are." The hall was silent for a moment, then erupted into applause. People lined up to thank him, not just for the speech, but for the reminder that it's not just okay to be yourself, it's essential. Arav's journey was a testament to a truth many often forget in the whirlwind of ambition: that identity is not a barrier, but a foundation. The world may pressure you to conform, to edit your soul to fit a mold, but your uniqueness is your gift. And no success is worth the cost of self-erasure. Don't erase your identity to be accepted. Don't shrink your heritage to fit in. Don't silence your voice to blend in with the noise. Your story, your roots, your journey, they matter. They are your compass in a world that often tries to point you elsewhere. Embrace them, share them, stand by them, because the most powerful person in any room is the one who knows exactly who they are and chooses to remain that way.